I'm going to go off topic here, and just while it's on my mind. What's your thoughts on the whole? I didn't want. I don't know if Sam was going to bring this up, but I didn't want to ignore it. The whole LGBTQ stance in Qatar. Obviously, they had the whole. My opinion was that they were going to have the armbands. I think it was it 4 or 5 clubs were going to wear the rainbow armbands?
7, wasn't it? Yeah.
7 clubs was it? And then FIFA said, "Well, you'll get a yellow card." I know Rio Ferdinand and Shearer alluded to this, that it was the first. Well, Rio's words were it was the first speed bump, and they folded like a deck of cards. And I agree with them, to be honest. Like, it's obviously bigger than football, and for the sake of a card, yeah, okay, you run the risk of Kane getting sent off and all that. But if they're trying to promote all this, and you're basically saying that, oh, well, Kane getting the yellow card's a lot more important than that. That's what it reads to me. I think they fucked up massively by not wearing an armband, to be honest. Don't know what your thoughts are.
Could have worn it, yeah.
Yeah,
I think sure,
yeah,
100%.
probably should have. Well, either that, or you just don't go on about it as much as you have done pre-tournament, and
then
then
drop their arse,
and then drop your ass. Like, you either just, like, certain countries just kind of ignore the fact that there's. I'm by no means do I think that we should ignore the stance that Qatar have on things. We should be highlighting it, but if you're going to highlight it and you've had this plan in action for that, you're going to show that by wearing the armband, then just go ahead with it. And I think, fair play. I know that it was Alex Scott. She wore it while on the put punditry and like showed her support on the telly, and thought that was really good, like, to see that she was not going to take any of that, like, stance and highlight it. I know it's hard. It's a real hard one, because it comes down to, like, are we, like, being disrespectful to the Qataris for not, like, showing wearing
I think
their,
that's the very fine line.
Yeah, because it's their country, their rules.
For me, though, if you're a supporter going over there to their country, you need to make sure you're obviously following their rules and that. But they've put their hat in the ring for this competition. They've obviously bribed FIFA to get this competition. The footballers wear that armband. They knew that before they wanted to host the competition. Mm-hmm. Then the Qataris need to follow the rules of, or like the traditions of, the footballers in the World Cup and what we do at the World Cup.
There's definitely a couple of different sides to it. Obviously, it's their rules. Nobody agrees with it. We just get that clear. Absolutely nobody agrees with their rules and how they do it. It's fucking ridiculous. But like Tom's just said, if you go in there, it's a Muslim countries, and that's their beliefs. It's as wrong as we think they are. It's their beliefs. So it's a fucking hard one.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If in some respects,
exactly. Yeah,
you can't force it.
You can't raise the awareness over there. Obviously, people are going over there to they're wearing the rainbow hats and stuff like that, and then they're getting them taken off them. They want to go over there to watch their football, but they also want to be like, well, hold on, this is fucking wrong, which you agree with. But then it's like, well, you've gone into their country. Like, if someone come into my house and I had a rule of take your shoes off, you don't come in with your shoes on. No. Do you know what I mean?
Not quite the same as it.
No, it's not. No, it's breaking it. No, it's breaking it down the minute. That's like it's my house. I'll be like, however, man, take your fucking shoes off. Like, or get out.
No, that's
the analogy. As stupid as that sounds, but like,
I get your point on the supporters, but with the actual football, I think it needs to be. The only thing I can think is that if Qatar said in their application for the World Cup or whatever it is, their bid, if they said like, oh, but you'll not be able to wear the rainbow armbands and all this, that, and the other, and then FIFA have gone, yeah, that's fine with us, and signed it off. But I can't see that have happened.
Yeah.
You think with the alcohol, like the alcohol, they did it last minute. Oh, you can't drink alcohol in the stadium. They've obviously like thought about this like last minute. Oh shit, they wear like rainbow flags as armbands. You can't do that. And I just feel like Gareth Southgate and Harry Kane should have just took, especially for the first game. Like the only thing 100%. I can think is that they didn't want to get a yellow card in every game, and they thought, if I'm not going to do it every game, I'll not do it at all.
Do you know what you need to do then?
For the first game,
you need to make Callum Wilson captain. Make him wear the armband. He'll get the yellow card and sub him off for Kane.
Well, that's what I said. I said something along the same lines. But I also heard, whether how true it is, I don't know. I also heard it was all the captains that were going to get carded. If someone had an armband on, the captain was getting carded, even though they hadn't done it. Well, that's what I heard. Whether that was true, I don't know.
Make the captain then for the first game.
Yeah, you can somebody else's captain.
Yeah, fucking lie. It's fucking stupid. Like it's like
FIFA
dropped their arse.
FIFA had an absolute meltdown. Well, yeah, the seven countries dropped their arse, but FIFA even proposing the idea of carding players just for that shows that FIFA themselves have been an absolute disgrace in that they and any of their causes that they may have like to show support on in the future, people are just going to look at it and be like, well, are you going to change your mind and do a U-turn on this at any moment? Like I don't see how people
fucking yellow card, lost, man. They just take the fucking yellow card.
Another thing they could have done, like at the very least, is just go out with no armband on.
Well, this is what the German players done today.
Yeah, the Germans
team photos that all put the hand over the mouth, saying like we've been silenced, basically.
Were they looking into getting because they had a rainbow on the training jacket or something, didn't they? Or that sort of. I didn't see it. I read it. That's some sort of Dutch, so they were going to get done for it, and that's why they did that, because they were like, well, you've got no speech or whatever it meant by that. So at least they did fucking something. Whereas we just didn't know. Like Paige just said before, we're going on and on and on about these rights and all this kind of shit. And they've done fuck all about it. That was a perfect chance to do something about it and to take a bit of a stance. And
it's just weak. It's really weak.
It's so weak. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, man. Like
talking cheap, like actually do something at least to show.
Yeah, they've literally done nothing
for, like, since taking the knee, since doing all this. Like,
do you know what? Right? Okay, Alex Scott wore the armband, and this is going to sound controversial, people, but the pundits have done fuck all for it either. Sounds bad, but they've gone on about you shouldn't be doing this. They've obviously got paid a wedge. We all know they've been paid a fucking wedge for it. They haven't raised near enough awareness about the crack as they should have at all. For me, she won an armband. Fair enough. The players are actually playing football. These are talking.
She could genuinely get locked up, like, for doing that. Like they could literally, she could not be on tomorrow because they could have locked her up for it. Like,
well, fair enough. Maybe not Alex Scott. Oh, it took balls to do that. I agree with that. But just the punditry in general.
Yeah, the rest of them.
Lineker.
They should have won the armband. That was it.
Well, you say that. I mean, Lineker did like a fairly big monologue at before the start of the Qatar-Ecuador game, where rather than talk about the football and the tournament being the fact that it's the World Cup and it's starting, he talked about how obviously the controversies in that like opening 2 minutes and how it shouldn't really be there and all of that. So I think they've tried to raise at certain times some of the like issues, but I think it is more like
was it a bit scripted though?
It's definitely scripted.
Rather than like, I know you can't just go off Willie on the camera just fucking bleating on about it. I get that, but I don't know. I think it's just the whole not wearing the armband was like, well, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, but I do think with like obviously certain pundits, I think you'd be speaking out more, but then like general reporters and maybe some of the more low level ones, I go back to like their going into that country, like they do kind of need to respect their rules and stuff. It's the footballers. The footballers should be protected on the pitch because it's the World Cup. It's like they've asked for those players to come to their country and play the World Cup there. So those players should be able to do what they normally do or would do at any World Cup. They shouldn't be governed by the rules of that state or that country or whatever.